Seeing Ruoli's face full of curiosity, Charlie smiled slightly and said, "This story tells that there is a rich second generation who wants to pursue a big beauty, but this rich second generation is rather picky and doesn't want to do it for this beauty. Spending too much money, so he pretended to tell this beauty that he was going to buy her a Ferrari. Then this rich second generation bought the Ferrari sales and let the Ferrari sales accompany him in a scene. When he took the beautiful woman to see the car, the salesman told them that there is no car now, so he can only book first. Then this rich second generation will pretend to be giving 110,000 deposit, got the contract to book the car. The beauty thought that the Ferrari bought for her by the rich second generation was already certain, so she climbed into the bed of the rich second generation that night and was succeeded by the rich second generation. After the rich second generation succeeded, he immediately went to the Ferrari salesperson, returned the 1 million deposit, and then gave the sales 20,000 yuan as a bonus, and that beauty didn't know it. She didn't know that the contract signed by the fake man was not a formal contract signed with the Ford's shop at all, but a fake contract signed with that salesman. The fake man did not give her a contract at all. He tried his best to do this scene, just to trick her into sleeping. The price of a Ferrari is often more than 4 or 5 million yuan, but this rich second generation actually only spent 20,000 yuan from start to finish, and successfully slept with this beauty. 20,000 compared to 5 million. Not one part. Ruoli blurted out and asked, What do you mean by telling me this story? Charlie smiled slightly and sighed helplessly. You really look beautiful, but this brain is really stupid. Ruoli was a little angry in her centrifugation, but facing Charlie, she dared not show it. So she could only ask him like a bag of air, "Can you make it clear, then?" Charlie nodded and said seriously, "In fact, this story of the rich second generation pretending to buy a car is the same as the Su family pretending to save you." After speaking, Charlie said again, "Look, if the Su family really wants to buy the entire TMPD and the Japanese self-defense forces and save you alive, it is not impossible, but the price may be very high. After all, the impact of this matter is extremely significant. Everyone must weigh the weight of it, unless the money is particularly large, otherwise no one dares to take the risk. I guess, I really want to save you alive. Without $1 billion, it is impossible to get through the multi-layered relationship between the Japanese Judicial Department, the Customs Department, and the Self-Defense Force." Speaking of this, Charlie turned around and smiled. "But what if they just pretend to save you, but actually don't let you leave Japan alive? Then it's definitely not going to cost them so much, so I guess they would buy a car. The story is the same. The actual cost is less than 1% of the expected cost." When Ruoli heard this, deep down in her heart, she immediately felt extremely shocked, and all three views of her whole person collapsed completely at this instant. Although she didn't want to believe that everything Charlie said was true, she was not a fool either. Changfeng's intention to kill her has been indirectly admitted on the phone, and this matter is completely fixed. Therefore, the story Charlie told, and his speculation about the Su family, can be said to hit the nail on the head. In her opinion, this story and speculation also perfectly fit the overall context of this matter. At this moment, her whole heart was ashamed. There were too many tears just now, so at this moment, she even had no tears. Seeing that she had basically given up her mind, Charlie smiled slightly and said, "Don't stay here for a long time. We must leave Japan as soon as possible before the self-defense force discover." After speaking, he called out all the crew on his ship, pointed to the captain and crew of the Su family boat, and ordered, "You guys, take them to the bottom cabin and clean the deck." A bit. Ito's crew hurriedly followed suit. At this time, Warnya also walked onto the deck and asked Charlie in surprise, "Master, were these people coming for me?" Charlie shook his head. "No, they are here for me." Warnya was even more surprised when she saw Ruoli with a crossbow arrow stuck in her leg and she was motionless. She hurriedly asked him, "Master, this woman is—" Charlie looked at Ruoli and smiled slightly. This little beauty, who was an enemy before, shouldn't be counted anymore now. After speaking, he raised his eyebrows at Ruoli again, and asked with a smile, "Little beauty, am I right?" Ruoli felt embarrassed. Although she had already seen the true face of the Su family, and although Charlie did save her life, she still couldn't give Charlie a good impression. After all, it was Charlie who reported her and her companions to the Japanese self-defense forces. Among her companions, many of them are from the He family, and many are even her brothers and cousins. However, although she had no good feelings for Charlie, her hatred for him also disappeared a lot as the whole matter became clear. Therefore, she didn't know how to answer his question for a while, and could only stubbornly turn her face to one side. Seeing her resentful look, Charlie couldn't help but chuckle a few times, and said, "Little beauty, the Sioux family don't know that you are still alive, let alone that you are in my hands, so you will listen to me next time. You will follow me back to Oru's Hill first like everyone else." Ruoli subconsciously said, "I won't go back to Oru's Hill with you." Charlie smiled and said, "You are on my boat and don't want to follow me. Are you going to get off the boat now?" Ruoli was immediately embarrassed. She thought sadly in her heart, "I have nowhere to go right now. If I don't follow this guy, I can only wait for the Japanese to catch me here. In the eyes of the Japanese, I am a heinous criminal. Once I fall into their hands, there will be no escape. Moreover, I can't go back to China by myself. Let's not talk about the vast sea, I can't go back at all. Even if I go back, I'm afraid it's hard to escape the claws of the Sioux family. Just now, when the captain called Chungfeng, he clearly told him that I was dead. If I went back alive and the Sioux family knew about it, they would immediately realize that the captain lied to them. They will also realize that their vicious scheme has been completely exposed. At that time, they will definitely do everything possible to kill me. Now, my only chance is to follow this man back to Oru's Hill. He is so strong, he must have a way to bring me back quietly, and he must be able to hide me from the Sioux family."